Have you ever wished you could go back in time to see all the great technology we'd have? It might be closer than you think, after all. Science and technological advancements are not only helpful, they are frequently made with the intention of saving lives. Here are 10 innovations that are about to revolutionize society. 10th, copy and paste. One of the most beneficial features that computers have to offer is copy and paste. Have you ever thought about how it might feel to put the same idea into practice in real life? The technology was created by Jae Yoon and Soki Kim, and it already exists as a portable, handheld scanner. With 2 buttons for scanning and printing, the device claims to let you scan any image and then duplicate it on a flat surface. Running the scanner over the image you want to copy will work its magic. Consider recreating an image from a newspaper story by moving it across a white, flat surface. Consider checking out the Sendstone wearable voice recorder in a similar vein. At the touch of a finger, this useful device that can be worn as a pendant, necklace, or badge records audio recordings, organizes them, and then converts them into text. The finished device promises greater LED visuals, featuring distinctive patterns to distinguish between each of the Sendstone's activities than the project's initial Kickstarter campaign. Number 9. Artificial blood. Many organizations, including the US military, have recognized the necessity for artificial blood in light of the impending severe shortages of transfusible blood reserves. In fact, research into artificial blood has existed since William Harvey's study of the pulmonary system in the 17th century. Synthetic blood is created in a lab as an alternative to blood transfusions. It is built to do some of the same tasks as its biological equivalent. Hemopure, an oxygen carrier based on hemoglobin that replicates the function of actual hemoglobin in red blood cells and moves oxygen throughout the body, is one such instance. Although Hemopure has not yet received approval for use in human trials, it represents an notable advancement. Naturally, creating an appropriate blood substitute is no easy task. The goal of this research is not to completely replace a patient's blood with an artificial substitute, but rather to provide an alternative form of care for those who cannot receive donated blood due to religious beliefs, or for those who might experience immune reactions that could be fatal when receiving donated blood. The 8th item is food scanners. Telspec has created a scanner that, in less than 15 seconds, can non-destructively assess the quality and maturity of fresh fruit, primarily aimed at food stores. Utilizing a concept known as titratable acidity, which takes into account elements like the fruit's maturity and the quantity of organic acids it contains, it can also reveal how sour something is. Telspec claims that this statistic is a far more accurate indicator of the acidity of the fruit than merely checking them. Since the scanner helps retailers determine whether a specific fruit should be sold to customers, returned to the supplier, or donated to a food bank, it is believed that the scanner will help reduce food waste in some way. There are 2 advantages. Customers get a better product, and retailers see an increase in profits. By a reduction in unnecessary food waste. This kind of food scanning technology will probably enable us to examine a food's micronutrient content in the future and keep track of our diet. 7. Kakkado. Kakkado is a unique robot made specifically to assist in raising kids. This ball-shaped device, which was unveiled in 2017 at a technology exhibition in Japan, helps kids develop their senses through touch, speech, and motion. It is designed to be a friend and a learning partner, and parents may set up a number of its features through a smartphone app. One such duty is to assume that of a traditional human babysitter by engaging the youngster in brief discussions using vocabulary appropriate for preschoolers. Children can be told to go to bed and then download tunes from the cloud to put them to sleep, among other capabilities. The public's fascination with domestic robots is undeniable. The Huffington Post even published an article on the moral conundrum of entrusting a robot with the care of your children. 6. Prosthetics with a tactile sensibility. When information on the first bionic hand with a sense of touch that could be used outside of a laboratory was made public this year, scientists in Rome made headlines. The bionic hand had already been around since 2014, but it took an additional 4 years to make the computing equipment portable. A group of neuroscientists, engineers, surgeons, and robotic experts from Germany, Switzerland, and Italy had to collaborate on the project. But exactly how does it operate? The bionic hand is equipped with sensors that can recognize an object's characteristics, whether it is soft or hard, for instance. These signals are then transmitted to a computer housed in a backpack, which converts them into a language that the brain can understand, before being implanted with electrodes in the patient's upper arm and transmitted to the brain itself. The first patient to utilize the bionic arm was Omarina Mascarello, who reported feeling complete after using it. The researchers' attention is currently focused on potential uses for robotic prostheses, as well as the possibility of creating a device that is capable of carrying out tasks that are more complicated than those that can be completed by the human hand alone. The fifth, lenses for tracking your health. Although some people wear contact lenses purely for aesthetic reasons, there may soon be major health advantages as well. Transparent sensors that might be incorporated into contact lenses could analyze blood sugar levels, keep an eye on stress levels, and potentially identify some early cancer risk factors. Gregory Herman of Oregon State University initiated the study with the goal of assisting people with diabetes in more efficiently managing their blood sugar levels. Alternatives to the conventional prick and test method of testing blood sugar would need intrusive procedures to place electrodes beneath the patient's skin, but no such procedures would be necessary with transparent sensors. It is envisaged that as this technology advances, biosensors will be able to monitor up to 2,000 to 500 biological functions with a single 1mm patch of contact lens. Herman wants to eventually connect the sensors so that they may send health data to smartphones and other Bluetooth or Wi-Fi enabled devices. Fourth, food made via 3D printing. The 3D printer is without a doubt one of the most significant inventions of recent years. A new age is now being paved by businesses like New Food Robot, Natural Machines, and Biosound. Food made via 3D printing. If we go beyond the capacity to accommodate an increasing number of diners, 3D printed food offers a number of significant uses for broader society, such as the ability to design exquisite culinary delicacies. The provision of ready access to food in nations struggling with poverty or lacking access to fresh, nutrient-dense products would be the most crucial of these. There have already been multiple iterations of 3D printers. The initial batch employed an additive manufacturing technique that entailed layering raw ingredients until the food was produced. The second category of printer saw a minor improvement, but this time the food was kept together with something resembling edible cement. It doesn't sound all that tasty, does it? Fortunately, the most recent printers are much more sophisticated and use robotic arms and nozzles that sprinkle chocolate. If that sounds too good to be true, the Foodney from Natural Machines, one of the most advanced printers, can manufacture pizza, quiche, and brownies using capsules loaded with natural ingredients. What will happen to the 3D food printer next? By 2050, the world's population will have grown by 50%, necessitating a 50% increase in food supply. It appears likely that 3D printed food will play a role in the solution. Electronic price tags are number 3. You may be familiar with electronic price tags if you've heard of the Seattle Amazon shop. You might not be aware, though, that trials are also now being conducted in other stores all over the world. In fact, organizations like Kakkado, the self-described global leader in electronic shelf labels, are already offering retailers improved pricing control. Develop a stronger relationship with their clients. So how do they function? The price management software, which is either in store or in the cloud and is connected to the electronic labels via radio frequency, is the most crucial component of the system. Retailers may control everything from their inventory to their prices from this location, and depending on the supply and demand at the time, these can be instantly boosted or decreased. Future advances in this technology include a scan-to-pay feature and personalized real-time offers to specific clients. Given that the Amazon physical shop tested a similar pay-later ideal in January 2018, this is very pertinent to it. In essence, shoppers can check out for free since they simply walk away, and Amazon bills them later since they leave a credit card on file. Amazon uses cameras and sensors to keep track of what customers buy. Number 2, guardrails on rollers. The roller rail was first proposed by the Australian business KSI Limited in 2014, and it is currently being developed in Korea by ETI Limited in place of the conventional metal guardrail. A collision with the metal guardrail can seriously harm a car and frequently offers a threat of harm to passengers as well. The most recent statistics show that worldwide, auto accidents claim the lives of about 1.3 million people each year. Another 20 to 50 million people suffered injuries or disabilities. The force of the impact is instead absorbed by the rollers in a contact with the roller rail, and the car is redirected into the traffic to lessen the likelihood of additional traffic collisions. Trials have demonstrated that when the roller rail performs flawlessly, test cars return to their proper lane with significantly less momentum than they would have had the regular metal rail. Therefore, any further impacts that might happen as the car gets back on the road would be much less severe than if it had hit the metal barrier with full power. In the years to come, let's hope the roller rail is widely used. The invisible bike helmet is ranked first. The Hovding, an invisible cycle helmet created by two Swedish students in 2005, is a cyclist's greatest friend. The entire system is housed in a wearable collar that, in the case of an accident, will inflate to surround your head and absorb shock while applying soothing pressure. This enables it to endure any potential collisions. The advantages are obvious, but the ideal is rather straightforward. It may help you live. It was specially created to be softer and thicker than a typical helmet. It uses extremely durable nylon fabric to cover more surface area without obstructing your field of view than traditional helmets would. Even Stanford University researchers, including Dr. David Camarillo, investigated it and came to the conclusion that it up to 8 times lowers concussion risk and virtually totally eliminates chance of skull fracture. The findings are fairly definitive, but why not think about the safety sphere if you want even more safety while driving? Motorcyclists are intended to receive complete protection from the safety sphere through a bodysuit that is inflatable. It is made up of 2 layers, an inner layer of thin, elastic synthetic material, and an outer layer of hard, parachute-like materials. The suit surrounds the rider and injures them in the event of a collision, much like an airbag might. The airbag is electrically triggered, which is where things get interesting. An explosive gas canister initiates the airbag's inflation when a cord holding them to the motorcycle is pulled out, and the rider survives to ride again. Which invention thrills you the most? Are there any others that I could have forgotten? Please share your thoughts in the comments box below. I appreciate your attention.